Yes. Yes. Tom Bombadil in the Rings of Power looks exactly like I would imagine him to do in a current year piece of entertainment. Look at him. Not a smile on his face, not a hint of colour, not a hint of cheer, not the tiniest little pinch of magic to be seen. Nothing at all. He's just some dirty old dude living out in the desert. God, yes. See, after seeing so many things becoming ruined, I am fully on the accelerationist train at this point. The Rings of Power should be the worst adaptation humanly imaginable. It should absolutely destroy The Lord of the Rings in any sort of a modern day trend, chasing people back in droves to the books, and hey, even the original movies, and I actually do mean the original here, the cartoon ones, which are sadly overlooked because they're actually kind of great, at the very least in a visual respect. But yes, Amazon, bury this one. Bury it. Because, as I said when this was originally announced, this was definitely a ploy by Amazon to try and move in on The Lord of the Rings and kind of undermine it and create their own alternative mythos. As they went all the way back to the beginning of The Lord of the Rings, they could theoretically make up damn near anything. They could define the universe, create their own Lord of the Rings, which is exactly what they tried to do when they started rebinding Lord of the Rings books with Rings of Power's covers, of course. This was absolutely Amazon's attempt to kind of capture the setting and remove it from its origins, what eventually their goal would have been to argue that they have a unique cinematic universe claim on The Lord of the Rings, and thus be able to continue the story into the Third Age and the War of the Rings by simply saying, these are our interpretations, like Disney once did with fairy tales in essence, but The Rings of Power has done far more to prevent that than anything else. And I can't get over it. So there's a couple more images as well. That actually makes it smaller. Here. So this is Gandalf, I'm guessing, the stranger. And he's looking at him like, why in my house? And I suppose they got the costume kind of right. His jacket is light blue. There you go. His boots, well, the image is so goddamn dark I can't actually tell. I'll see here. Oh yeah, I'd call them yellow. The most drab kind of mustard gas yellow, sure, but it's yellow, theoretically speaking. And just for reference, in case you're unaware who Tom Bombadil is, this is Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil is intended to be a moment of respite in The Lord of the Rings. In the very early on books, he saves Frodo and his friends, well, just his friends technically, from the tree? What was the tree? Old Man Willow? Was that it? What is that? It's been a while since I've read those books. A bit of an early, horror-esque introduction into the books when you don't really quite know yet how bad the baddies are. He also rescues them again from the Barrow Wights, and does quite a bit to prepare Frodo for his journey. He's kind of like a soft introduction to the nightmares of the real world, where it introduces some pretty horrifying and creepy stuff, albeit nothing compared to what is coming in the future, and he swoops in to rescue them. Even though, of course, he isn't actually involved in any way, he doesn't care. There's even a conversation at the Council of Elrond, where they asked, okay, but what if we, gave the ring to Tom Bombadil, because the ring has no power over him, as he is literally an elder god. He predates Morgoth, okay? He is beyond ancient, literally beyond ancient. But Gandalf argues that no, that wouldn't do any good, because whilst he'd probably take it, it holds no significance to him whatsoever, so he'd probably just lose it somewhere, and then, in essence, hand it directly back to Sauron. but he is intended to be a very bright, very whimsical, very magical character. Kind of, well, the very mystery of him is the point of his character, to make it clear to the reader that there are greater mysteries beyond even what you are being let into now, beyond even the ring, beyond Sauron, beyond wizards and hobbits, etc. And in the Amazon show, well, he's apparently moved to Rune, for reasons unbeknownst to anyone, and Rune just happens to look a lot like California. Just this sun-beaten, desolate wasteland. That's a perfect backdrop for Tom Bombadil. And again, he just looks so miffed, like, at no point is there so much as a smile on his lip. Like, this is the cheeriest he looks, and he's just like, who are you? Oh, right. Wizard. You're not supposed to be here yet. Could you not? I love it. I bet you they're gonna write him as some kind of wise, sagacious character that helps out the stranger figure out who he is. Like, oh, you see, I've got some wisdom for you, and hey, you know what? That is in part Tom Bombadil's character, but it isn't via any sort of serious means. Like, even when he put on the One Ring to demonstrate that it had no power over him and then it didn't disappear, and then he made the ring disappear in turn before then returning it to Frodo, that was him demonstrating his power level without making it serious. He could simply go, silly bauble, it holds no power over me. I am unfathomably ancient, and its pathetic enchantments are absolutely powerless before my incredible magnitude. That's not how he is. He's not that kind of character at all. And again, he's not this kind of character. I cannot get over this one because, again, entire point of Tom Bombadil is magical mystery. It is wonder. It is amazement. It is something incredible. And they have reduced even that to a tired old man, a dirty man living out in the middle of the nowhere, tending to his goddamn bees. See, this is what people truly mean when they say that evil cannot create, it can only corrupt. This is exactly it. Because a lot of this can be explained by a simple, ideological motivations. Or, well, retardation, like wanting to have the hobbits in the story for no good reason. Or simple greed, wanting to have Gandalf in the story for no good reason. Because, well, it's the Amazons' attempt to kind of subvert the entire setting and create their versions of them. The Amazon TM hobbits, the Amazon TM Gandalf, etc., so that they could, in the future, subvert the more well-known setting, in essence. But this is the corruption in its purest form, where all magic has been driven out mercilessly, all mystery, all whimsy has been fully eradicated, and all you have is a sand-baked Californian desert where some hobo lives. That's fantastic. I could not have asked him for more, frankly. See, I need the Rings of Power to be the worst thing ever. I need this to quite literally shutter Amazon Studios, if at all possible, because whilst Amazon Studios have created a couple things that are at least mildly decent, they are a thoroughly rotten organization, as is quite evidently demonstrated by their attempt at creating a Tom Bombadil. And sure, they might be bind to the creators of this god-awful show for an entire 5 seasons, and it's going to continue to slowly but surely drain Amazon's bank account of uncountable millions, and this is a very good thing. Sure, I'm going to have to suffer through watching this garbage, but even that can be benefited from in its own way. Accelerationism is the key. Accelerationism is the light. Accelerationism is life. Embrace it, for it is the only true path to salvation. Until next time, thank you all very much for listening, and I hope to see you all again soon in slightly more magical environments. Oh, Tom Bombadil. Have a good day.